Hello, everyone. Thanks for listening to Wake Up, Look Up, a podcast where we connect events happening in real time to the gospel of Jesus Christ. I'm Zach Weihrauch. And in today's episode, we're asking the question, does God want you to fail? This is prompted by an article I read by Arthur Brooks this week, who's always very insightful in his commentary. And he was talking about the necessity of failure, the way failure causes us to grow in ways we wouldn't grow without it. In fact, science tells us that failure drives growth. The reality is when we struggle in an area in life, that is what often motivates us to either get better in that area or to put that area down and lean into other areas where we know we can experience growth. In that way, discomfort might be felt as a negative, but Brooks's whole point is we should reframe it into a positive. If discomfort is a necessary step towards growth, then when we feel it, it's not something to push back from, but to lean into. In other words, it might be a way of saying, hey, look, I'm growing because I'm not comfortable. It leads to something that social scientists call action rumination, which is a mental process we go through. Why didn't that go well? What should I have done differently? How could I change to be better in the future? These, of course, are growth-oriented questions. Failure can be applied to cause growth. That's true in parenting. That's true in your career. That's true in your relationships. Failing doesn't mean you're inherently flawed. It means you need to grow. And we all do. But the area, of course, I'm concerned about is not parenting or career. All those are meaningful, but is actually your spiritual growth. Because I think Brooks's point is transferable to the spiritual world. In other words, if discomfort leads to growth, then spiritual discomfort leads to spiritual growth. This is exactly what James means, by the way, in James 1, when he says, consider it joy when you encounter trials, because trials lead to the perseverance of your faith. Sometimes when we experience negativity, discomfort, things that we don't want in life, we tend to ask, God, where are you? God, don't you care? Don't you see me? What are you doing? And the answer sometimes, James says, is he's growing us. Remember, God's made a promise to make us not just positionally holy in Jesus, but actually holy. Jesus tells us in the Gospels that it's his job to present the church to himself spotless and blameless. God is working in your life to make you who he wants you to be, who you want to be, who you need to be to live forever in the kingdom. He's at work in your life and sometimes works through discomfort. Failure often leads to growth. It can lead to humility. Proverbs 3 says that we should lean on the Lord and not trust our own understanding. But are any of us really capable of that until failure rises up, kind of smacks us in the face and makes us realize our own understanding is not worth leaning on? Kind of kicking that seat out from under me causes me to go looking for a new chair, the chair of leaning on God. Mistakes lead to maturity. Maturity leads to holiness. So consider this maybe today. Ask God to help you see discomfort today and moving forward as a tool in his hands. He loves us. He has great plans for us. Discomfort is not the tool we wish he would use always, but when he uses it, it's always for our good, always for our progress. And Brooks is right. Those who really grow in any arena, including their faith, are those who lean into discomfort and ask, what do I need to do differently? How do I need to change? But of course, we could add to that, and who will help me get there? And the answer, friends, is Jesus, your King, your Redeemer, and the one who won't stop working in your life to make you holy. Hey, thanks so much for watching this episode of Wake Up, Look Up. While you're here, take a minute to like and subscribe. It really helps us get the word out. Don't hesitate to leave a review wherever you might find this podcast on an audio level and help spread the word. And hey, while you're here, check out all the other content we have at Christ Community Chapel on YouTube. Some of those videos are popping up on the screen now. Click on one.